Thank you. When it's cold outside, a lot of things can go wrong inside. But before anything does, News Center 16's Ibrahim Samra visited home comfort experts in Mishawaka for some home maintenance tips you can use.
Cold, cold, cold. We've been saying it all winter. The reality is it can cause some problems, and before it does, I spoke to Kayla Ault from Home Comfort Experts in Mishawaka.
Crack a faucet open and have it dripping and making sure that water is moving through those pipes. Opening the kitchen cabinets and the bathroom cabinets, just making sure that warm air gets to those areas to make sure that those freezes don't happen.
Ault also says simple tasks like cleaning any snow off your gas meter can help save your furnace and save you from making a cold call for help.
We're open 24 hours a day, and we have certified and trained technicians that specialize in making sure that the comfort of your home is kept.
Now, a lot of the problems in the cold come from outside, but what people fail to do is check their filters inside. You got to put the clean ones in, bad ones out. And just like you need to breathe, your furnace does too. Keeping a clean and clear path for your furnace helps it function more efficiently.
It might be a little time out of your day, but if it causes your furnace to run and not break down, I suggest doing it. My mother was just doing it.
And if mom's doing it, you probably should too. Ibrahim Samra, News Center 16.
Home Comfort's Experts is open 24 hours a day. They're located all across Michiana. And coming up at 6, we'll tell you how lowering your heat can actually help you from getting cold.
It may sound counterintuitive, but Home Comfort Experts is telling you to turn down the heat if you want to stay warm the next couple of days. The 24-hour heating and cooling service company says running your heat up can cause your furnace to burn out if it's on for too long.
So if you want it 75 in the home, unfortunately, if you want that, it's going to run your furnace and run it and run it and run it. Could potentially cause a breakdown, could potentially cause something to happen.
Now, keeping snow off gas lines and removing ice off intake pipes can also help maintain the heat in your home. If something does happen to your furnace, don't forget to make sure your filter is clean before making a cold call to help.
And be sure to stay with News Center 16 as we bring you the latest on this deep freeze and the dangerous conditions expected throughout the week.
Now, because you may be concerned about your furnace as this deep freeze sets in.
Yeah, so what are some ways you can be sure your furnace actually lasts throughout this dangerous cold spell? News Center 16's Melissa Stevens is at Home Comfort Experts with some answers this morning.
Yeah, hi Melissa.
Hey guys, you know, this is something on in the minds of many people, homeowners, people who live in apartments, whatever the case may be. They want to make sure that they are ready for this deep freeze, which is setting in right now. And we are joined by, it's here. We are joined by James Olson, Operations Manager here at Home Comfort Experts. What can people, how can you ease their minds in terms of making sure their furnace is up to par?
First and foremost, if you haven't changed your filter, go to the furnace right now this morning. Don't wait till tomorrow. Check your filter. The cleaner the filter is, the easier it is on that furnace to run. These furnaces are going to be running extremely long cycles in the next few days. So that filter that's partially plugged is going to cause that furnace to work even harder and harder, cause temperatures to get hotter and hotter coming through it, and possibly even shut the furnace off because it's hitting a safety that it normally wouldn't hit. A 5-minute run cycle is fine, but an hour-long, 2-hour-long run cycle, it's going to eventually overheat. So change your filter. Another thing is that furnace is going to be working hard. It's going to be running long cycles. So if you normally keep your house at, say, 72 degrees, don't be afraid to back that down to 70 or 69 or 68. Throw a sweatshirt on, put some extra blankets on the bed, make it as easy as you can for that furnace to run. Another thing I'd caution is a lot of people set the thermostat way back at night, like it cooler to sleep anyway. Yes, it does save you money. I would caution you away from setting it back just because furnaces are designed to keep your house at 70 degrees at 0 degrees outside. So if we're going to be in the -20s, high of -12, you're asking a lot of your furnace to actually raise the temperature in your house. So during this time frame, take it out of your programmed state. If you have a programmable thermostat, set it at the temperature you want and just leave it there, especially tonight going into tomorrow. Do not ask your furnace to raise the temperature in the house 10 degrees tomorrow. It's just not going to be able to.
Oh my goodness, really great advice. We really appreciate that this morning. And actually, within the next half hour, we're going to talk about pipes freezing and what you can do to prevent that. For now, reporting live in Mishawaka, I'm Melissa Stevens, News Center 16.
And as these temperatures drop, your furnace, well, it works overtime.
Yeah, and if you're concerned about your furnace surviving this deep freeze, there may be some things you can do at home to ensure you stay warm these next few days.
Yeah, News Center 16's Melissa Stevens is a home comfort expert. She has tips for the furnace, also your pipes. Lots to cover this morning. Good morning, Melissa.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Lots to cover. You just mentioned it. We talked about the furnace a little bit in the last half hour. We're going to talk about it again coming up. But let's get to the pipes, because that is definitely a concern. A lot of people have theories on how to prevent those from freezing. So that being said, we are joined by James Olson, operations manager here. Tell us about that. What are some ways you can prevent that from happening?
First and foremost, make sure that any pipes, any water lines in any uninsulated areas, any unheated areas of the home, the crawl space, the attic, maybe the Michigan basement along the outside foundation, the old well pump room. Very inexpensive for a homeowner to go get sleeve insulation from any hardware store. Have them insulated, or in some cases, the well pump room, have a little space heater in that well pump room. I mean, we're going to get phone calls all day long. They're going to say this has never happened before. This furnace has always kept up before. These pipes have never frozen before. And so really be thorough on making sure that every pipe is well insulated or in a heated area of the home. Secondly, everyone's always heard leave water dripping at a faucet. It is true. Running water is less likely to freeze than water sitting still. So if you're going to be gone all day at work and you have an area that's ever been a problem area, leave that faucet running. Another thing is if you have any type of a faucet or sink against an outside wall of the house, the kitchen, the upstairs bathroom, whatever it might be, leaving that cabinet open so that the warm air from the house can actually get into and under that cabinet and keep those pipes from freezing if it's up against an outside wall.
Wow, and really quickly, you've got the example of what can happen.
One small little crack like that, and I'll kind of get a little bit closer so you can see, can be catastrophic. A furnace breaking down, you'll be cold for a little while until we can get out to you and get your furnace fixed. This can be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of damage. Hopefully it's in a basement, an unfinished basement, and going to go to the sump pump anyway, but this is on the second floor of a house. You could be talking catastrophic damage to a house from one little leak like this. So do your due diligence. Make sure that if you've had a problem area in the past, it's been taken care of. And if you notice all of a sudden you turn a faucet on and you're not getting water to it, call. That's your first sign that something's frozen. Call before the pipe bursts. We've got tips and tricks that we can do as professionals to thaw those pipes out before you're in a situation where you've got a flooded house.
For sure. Thank you so much for the great tips. And we're going to actually talk within the next half hour about your furnace again. And if you are having problems, the steps you can take to ensure that that gets fixed before tomorrow. For now, reporting live in Mishawaka, I'm Melissa Stevens, News Center 16.
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, there's people that try to fire up a blowtorch and say, I'll get these pipes thawed out.
Yeah.
It's not smart. Not smart. I want you to be mindful of things in your home, and as the deep freeze sets in, you may be concerned about your furnace.
Yeah, so what are some ways you can be sure your furnace lasts throughout this dangerous cold? We're talking that, but we're also talking a lot of other ways to stay warm inside of your home this morning.
Right. News Center 16's Melissa Stevens is at Home Comfort Experts with some answers. Melissa, you know, a lot of people think about the furnace. You may be tempted to crank it up. You don't want to tax it too much, right?
That is absolutely right. You don't necessarily want to tax the furnace too much. And in fact, there are some warning signs that may say that something is wrong. And if that's the case, you want to call today and get that taken care of. We are joined by James Olson, operations manager here. Tell us about some of the warning signs that people should see that they got to call you guys.
Today would be, if it's not maintaining temperature today. Today it's cold out there, but it's not tomorrow cold out there yet. Our furnaces are designed to heat to 70 degrees at 0 degrees outside. So if you're not maintaining temperature at your thermostat today, if it's not reaching your set point, definitely call today. Tomorrow, that'll be a different story. At negative 20, at negative 12, your furnace may not be able to reach set point temperature. So I've been talking a little bit this morning about maybe setting your thermostat back a little bit cooler to ease the runtime of the furnace. One instance, couple of instances, if you're elderly, you need that heat in the house. If you have small children in the house, maybe tonight it's going to cost more money. The furnace is going to run longer. But a tip may be to set that thermostat actually up a few degrees. Tomorrow, seeing temperatures at the thermostat slowly dropping, even though that furnace is doing everything it can to run, it's just not designed to run at -20, at -12 that it's going to be. Also maybe supplementing with space heaters. We're all going to have to struggle through the next couple of days just because we haven't seen this before. Your furnace isn't designed to do it. So setting the thermostat back, letting the furnace run easier if you can handle your house being 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees colder than it normally is. But if it's not maintaining temperature today, call us because there's something wrong if it's not maintaining temperature today.
And you really emphasize calling today because you guys are going to be swamped.
We are. We've got plenty of guys on staff, on call 24 hours a day. We will work our butts off the next 3 days to keep everyone warm that we can, but call today. Anyone that calls tomorrow it's gonna be a while before we can get to you. We'll get to you, but it may be a while. We're properly staffed and have tons of openings today, this morning even yet. So if you notice something's wrong, please call today.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for the tips. Do not hesitate. Do not wait. Like he said, call if there are any concerns whatsoever. And of course, as always, we will have these tips on our website after the show. For now, reporting live in Mishawaka, I'm Melissa Stevens, News Center 16.
Great advice. I think we are going to, just pile on the layers at home and back off that furnace a little bit. Get it a break because you're going to need it over the next few days.
Use those nice comfy blankets too.
Yeah.